Good day, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Today, I have an exciting, invigorating, and interesting life story for you. We will be delving into the journey a man had with loan shark apps in Nigeria. This series of interviews will give us a very deep insight into loan addiction and how these loan apps continue to take advantage of addiction in this regard. I am Mr. X for the purpose of this interview, a 47-year-old man from the western part of Nigeria. I am from a very comfortable family with premium educational background. I attended a good university in Nigeria and further obtained a master's degree in a reputable university in Europe. Since returning to Nigeria, I have established a number of high capital businesses with the help of my parents, which have all been mismanaged by me. I am as well married and I have kids. I learned about loan apps around a year and 6 months ago. A lady I used to know told me to assist her with some money to pay a debt she owed on a particular app. This app I can vividly remember was Gold Cash. I was curious as I know she does not have any job or any reasonable collateral to enable her obtain a loan. So I demanded I see the app and I understand the process of obtaining the loan. I was excited about the terms and even the mode of repayment. This was the first mistake I made in the series of mistakes that followed. My first engagement with loan apps began the next day of ever seeing it. In fact, I had money on me, I mean cash, and enough funds in my account. But I was just so enticed by the fact that I can request for money and it will be credited to my account. I thought to myself, if this lady's request could be entertained, I would definitely have a better chance of being successful. So I downloaded, I think, three of the loan apps I had seen on her phone and started filling in my details. This was the second mistake I made in the series of mistakes that followed. The first time I tried, I was successful in all three apps, even though the funds promised to be available for dispensing to me was not accurate. After evaluation, I was offered minimal amounts and with a very high interest rate, and the duration, which was promised to be between 30 to 90 days, was 7 days on offer. But my curiosity and greediness still pushed me to click apply. And even when they requested to have access to my phone, all my details, my contacts, texts, and calendar, I still click accept. After I successfully applied for the loan, I noticed I started seeing a lot of adverts from various loan apps on all my devices, all promising instant cash, low interest rates, and lengthy duration of loan period. At this point, I noticed strange phone calls and WhatsApp messages asking if I wanted more loans, offering me APKs to download different apps as they were not available on regulated app marketplace such as iPhone App Store or Google Play on Android. Before I knew it, I had over 30 loan apps on my phone just after 2 weeks of knowing about it. I noticed as I was repaying the loans, the apps automatically increased the amount offered to me, and in some cases, opened extra arms of lending on the app. Even to my surprise, the apps I was engaging for the first time was now matching the offers I was receiving from the apps I had previously engaged. This did not bother me at the time, and I did not think anything of it. But as this interview goes on, I'll shed better light on the significance. I was getting introduced to new loan apps daily, and by the third month, I had more than 60 loan apps on my phone. To put this in perspective, for those who are not familiar with these apps, Some of them will have as much as 8 lending streams on a single app. This streams is gradually opened as we fulfill repayments on the app. So if I had engaged 40 apps, for instance, I may have 100 loans depending on the amount of available streams the loan have provided. By the fourth month, the loan had overtaken my life. My income, which was around 421,000 naira monthly, this which was provided to me by my parents to help me build my account for other purposes and serve as upkeep for the month, had no impact on the amount of loans I was paying weekly. Even daily, I was making millions of transactions in both paying back and accessing new loans. Payments were starting to get so difficult and some late, and this was the first time I experienced the real ugly side of this habit I had cultivated, and the real nature of these loan shark apps started manifesting. It was a Sunday morning, and I woke up to several missed calls on my phone. It was unusual, as it was the early hours of the day. I had received numerous calls from agents on repayments, which was due that same day. I had made so many payments that weekend and was still short on some of the loans. I received numerous calls from agents the previous day, but I had pleaded with them to give me till Monday. I received threats by the agent, but I pleaded again to wait till Monday as I do not have any way to pay on Sunday. But I woke up on Sunday to many missed calls. And as I opened my WhatsApp messages, I saw people sending my picture labeled kidnapper, another labeled wanted, calling me a ritualist. All these were sent to me. I was so confused that I ignored my contacts calling me, my family members and friends. All I tried to do was contact these agents who had sent me some of these samples of what they were planning to send out over the night. But all I got was more threats, more defaming materials that they've edited, calling me human part seller and more. All my details were pasted on these defaming materials. They had sent this to all my contacts through WhatsApp and through text messages. My phone number, my BVN, and address were all pasted boldly on the post they had made. This was the first mental breakdown I had. My situation was now exposed to friends and family, even general contacts on my phone. Then I noticed that they've been calling some of my contacts. In fact, they were calling my contacts based on priorities, by family members, pastors, and then anybody that had uncle or auntie on their name. My family started calling me vigorously, and then I had to pick at some point. I initially tried convincing them that it was some fraudsters, but by Monday, everything had gone pear shaped. The agent had spoken to a number of my family members, and I had to come clean. It was a horrible time for me, as I had to reflect on my activities for the past 2 to 4 months. This was the first intervention from my family in my journey through loan addiction. At this point, my parents helped me pay all the loans, the ones that were due and the ones yet to be due. A total of 5.6 million naira were paid on the day. I felt a heavy load lifted off my shoulder, but at the same time, there was a thought of clean slates to access loans that lingered in my mind. This was an indication that I was already addicted to loans, but it never really occurred to me at the time. But now I know. Thank you for listening. So we are just scratching the surface on this man's story. The second episode and third episode will really enlighten us more on how his journey went. This is just a prelude because the interview goes really deep and things really happened in the second and the third episode. So if you like this content, please like our page, subscribe, and then let's know your views. Comment on the post. Thank you very much.